Hello, in this session we're going to get the body moving and the heart pumping. So when you're ready, we'll get started. So today we're going to start seated, so it's completely up to you how you want to sit. If you want to sit on something, lean the lower back against anything, just however you can feel tall and comfortable. And then we're just going to take a little bit of time to settle. So if you do want to have a little wiggle around, might feel nice, maybe a little roll through the neck or the shoulders. But if you can, just starting to come to stillness. And maybe closing the eyes. And we're going to be trying to move relatively quickly through this yoga. So just take a moment to pause and find that calm. Maybe focusing on the breath or the heartbeat. And if it's helpful to you, you can bring the hands to the tummy, to the chest, just so that you bring more of your senses in to focus on your breathing. But of course, whatever feels best to you. Just seeing if there's any way you can soften through the shoulders, the face, the jaw, the hands, the feet. Couple more breaths here. And if you have got the hands on the belly or the chest, just bring them back to the lap or the knees. And we're going to start to come into some twists here. So bringing the right hand over towards the left leg, wherever is in reach for you. Left hand just by the hip. And here you can keep the eyes open, you can close them. We're just starting to twist the body round to the left. And here you can use the right hand to kind of pull you round. Just see how that feels in the shoulders, and you want the majority of your twist coming from your belly. So using your inhales to lift you, create space. Then as you exhale, drawing the tummy in and just twisting round. And here trying not to put too much weight through that left hand. It's just there to encourage the spine to be tall so you're not kind of slumping back into it. Softening the shoulders down, maybe looking over the left shoulder if that feels nice through the neck. And then we'll start to take that over to the other side. So as you inhale, move through centre. And as you exhale, just starting to set up. So left hand over to the right leg, right hand just by the hip. Taking another inhale, lengthening through the spine. And as you exhale, just starting to twist round to the right. Again, just taking a few moments to pause here. If you want, you can pull yourself round a little bit, but just initiating the movement from the tummy, using the muscles around the belly to lift the rib cage and then to twist you round. And again, maybe looking over that right shoulder, maybe keeping the head neutral. You could lower the chin if you want, just whatever feels good in your neck. Couple more breaths here. And then we'll start to take that moving. So inhaling, moving through centre. Exhaling, twisting to the left. Just keeping that going. Inhaling to move, lift the rib cage. And exhaling, twisting to the right. So moving with your own breath, we'll go for a couple more times each side. Just starting to sync our movement up with our breath. And get a little bit of movement going through the spine. One more each side. And then as you inhale, coming back through centre, maybe having a little bit of a wiggle, loosen everything up, and then starting to find your way into a tabletop. No big rush, move through anything on the way. Take your time to settle. When you're ready, coming to stillness. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, lifting the chest, separating the shoulder blades and drawing the tummy in. From here we're going to step back with the right foot. So you've got a long right leg and just start to rock forward and back. So just starting to warm up through the wrists, through that right ankle, and moving at whatever pace works best for you. If you want, you can match it to your breath, inhaling, rocking forward, exhale, pressing back. And then from here, coming back to neutral. And then we're going to lift that right foot up off the floor, keeping the hips square to the floor so you're not opening up to the side, drawing the tummy in, lifting up out of the shoulders, pressing into the right hand and reaching the left hand forward. As you inhale, lengthening through the spine, pressing away with the right heel, reaching right away with the fingers. Then as you exhale, drawing the elbow and knee together underneath you, rounding through the spine and tucking the chin. As you inhale, lengthening out, strong through the tummy, lifting out of that right shoulder, and exhale, drawing everything in. Once more, reaching forward, pressing back, and then exhaling, drawing everything in. And this time we'll come to pause. So squeezing the knee towards the chest, pulling the heel up towards your bum, pressing up out of that right shoulder. And then left hand down, right knee down, and just taking a moment to reset, maybe having a little bit of a shake through the wrists, wiggle through the hips. And then we'll go for that on the other side. So coming back to your tabletop, lifting the chest and stepping back with the left foot, and then just starting to rock forward and back. Again, giving yourself some time, going at whatever pace works for you, but give yourself a chance to stretch through the wrists, press through that heel, but all the while separating the shoulder blades, drawing the tummy in to support the spine. Just keep that going for a couple more breaths. And then coming back to neutral, lifting through the shoulders, lifting that left heel up off the floor, keeping the hips square and the heel in line so you don't need to send the foot way up high. From here, pressing into the left hand, right hand reaching forward, inhaling, lengthening through the spine, and as you exhale, drawing everything in, elbow to knee, tucking chin. Keeping that going, inhaling to lift. Exhale, squeezing in, strong through that left shoulder. And again, reaching forward. And then this time we'll come to pause. So squeezing everything in, tucking the chin, squeezing the knee to the chest, heel towards your bum. And then right hand down, left knee down. Maybe just taking a moment to reset, have a shake through the wrists. And then when you're ready, starting to make your way into a downward dog. And here, giving yourself a moment to settle in, maybe have a little shimmy and shake. Then when you're ready, finding your way to stillness. Wrapping the shoulders round so it feels like the armpits are starting to face one another. Let the head and neck be neutral. Lengthening through the spine, hugging lower ribs in, pressing through the heels. From here, we're going to come through our three-legged dog into our lunge, lift in our lunge, and then back into our downward dog. We're going to match this to one breath for each movement, but if this is too fast or just not fun for you, feel free to take your time, take a pause, whatever you need. So when you're ready, pressing into the left foot. As you inhale, right foot going high into your three-legged dog. And then as you exhale, sending that knee forward and stepping through into a lunge. Pressing through the feet, squeezing through the legs. Inhale to lift. Exhaling, hands coming down and finding your way back into a downward dog. Other side, pressing into right foot. Inhaling, left foot sweeping up. Exhale, moving into your lunge. Inhaling, lifting up. And exhale, hands coming down, back to your downward dog. So keeping that going. Other side, inhaling right foot high. Exhaling into your lunge. And just trying to keep these movements as smooth as you can. Move with purpose, so don't throw yourself away and get thrown off by the speed. But focus on your breath, trying to lengthen those inhales and exhales, giving yourself time to move. We'll just go for one more each side. Lifting to inhale and exhale, softening back. Last one, left foot high, big breath in, exhaling into your lunge. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hands coming down and moving back into your downward dog. Giving yourself a moment to pause here. We're not going to be here too long, but find that strong position. Wrapping the shoulders round, pressing the heels down, even if they're not touching the floor. You want to still be sending weight back through your legs so it's not all in your arms. From here, we're going to come into a forward fold at the top of the mat. So up to you how you get there, walking, stepping, jumping. Just taking a moment to hang over here, maybe give yourself a little shake, a little nod through the head. Knees can be as bent or as straight as you like, completely up to you. And then from here, we're going to lift up with our inhale, so just softening into the knees a little. And then on your next breath in, reaching hands high, lifting up, straight spine if you can. And then exhaling, hands coming down. And you can just take a moment of calm and stillness. You can have a little bit of a shake out. Just have a check-in, see what you need. And then when you're ready, coming to stillness, planting the feet. Feeling long through the legs, through the waist, up out of the head, soften through the shoulders. And then from here, we're going to start to press into the left foot and bring the right knee up towards the chest. Give that leg a little squeeze and just take a moment to find your balance. Pressing through all four corners of the left foot, lifting up out of that hip so you're not kind of slumping in. Then keeping that knee squeezing towards the chest, inhaling, hands reaching up. And then as you exhale, we're going to start to tilt into our warrior three. As you inhale, we're going to lift all the way back up, bringing that knee in towards the chest. As you exhale, pressing back with that right heel, tilting the chest forward, and then inhaling, lifting back up. This time as you exhale, we're going to come to pause. So you don't have to come completely horizontal, just try and make a long line through the spine and square the hips. A couple more breaths here. You can bring the hands down if you need. And then from here, we're going to step back with the right foot, coming into a lunge, giving yourself some time to readjust. Lifting through the fingers, letting the shoulders soften. And then from here, taking an inhale, just lifting through the spine. Then as you exhale, we're going to start to soften that knee down toward the back knee down towards the floor, just to hover. Inhaling, lifting back up. Keeping that going, exhale, softening that knee down. And inhale to lift. Once more, exhale to lower. And inhaling, lifting up. Taking a moment to pause, have a shake out. And then on your next inhale, we're going to lift fingertips high. You can lengthen into that front leg or keep it bent. And exhale, left hand back, right hand forward, twisting round to the left side. Keeping that going. Inhaling to lift up through center. Exhale to twist. Once more, all the way up. And exhale to twist. This time as you inhale, just coming back through center, back into your lunge. And then we're going to come to stand on that front foot. So you might want to just step the back toes in an inch, just so the weight's further forward. From here, starting to lean forward, pressing into that front foot. And as you inhale, right knee coming in. As you exhale, stepping back, nice and smooth, landing quietly. Inhaling, lifting all the way back up. Keeping that going. Exhale, stepping back. Once more, inhale to lift, and exhale, coming to pause in your lunge. Just taking a moment here, reaching through the fingers, squaring the hips towards the front of the room, pressing through that back heel, bending into that front knee. Inhaling, reaching hands high, and exhale, hands coming down and stepping back into your downward dog. Taking a moment here. And then when you're ready, knees coming down, setting up for your child's pose. Big toes together, knees as close or as wide as you like. Sending hips back. And just for a couple of breaths, finding some softness. Maybe having a little shake out if you need it. Just finding a position that feels comfortable to you. And just taking a few deep, steady, smooth breaths. In your own time, we'll come back up into our downward dog, so move through anything on the way that feels good to you. And we'll come to pause in our downward dog, so finding that nice, steady, strong position. And then finding your way into a forward fold, so however you want to move the feet towards the top of the mat. And just giving yourself a moment to hang over. Again, knees bent straight. Moving, being still. Just taking a couple more breaths here. Whatever you're doing, trying to let the head hang heavy from the neck. Just so gravity can lengthen through the spine and give you a nice stretch down your back. From here, we'll lift up, so just pressing into the feet, bending the knees a little. Big inhale, reaching hands high. And then exhale, hands coming down and just coming to standing. Again, it might be nice just to have a moment of calm, being still. You might want to have a little bit of a move around. Whatever feels good to you and lets you arrive here. So from here, just pressing into all four corners of the feet, letting the toes soften down. Just lengthening through the body, softening shoulders. And then just starting to press into the right foot and bringing the left knee in towards the chest. Giving it a little squeeze here and just taking a moment to find your balance on that right foot. Lengthening through the spine, softening shoulders. Finding something to look at that isn't going to move to help you balance. And then from here, keeping that left knee squeezing in. Inhaling, hands going high. And then as you exhale, tilting into your warrior three, pressing back with the left heel, reaching forward with the fingertips. And then inhaling, lifting back up, straight spine if you can. And then exhaling to tilt. I'll go for one more. Inhaling, lifting up. And then as you exhale, we'll come to pause this time. So find your balancing point. You don't have to be parallel. You can be a little bit further lifted up. You can bring hands to the floor, hands in, wherever helps you balance, but trying to square the hips, lengthen through both sides of the waist. Nice, long, strong spine. Couple more breaths here. And then bending into that standing leg, stepping back with the left toes, landing as silently as you can, and just taking a moment to land in your lunge. Give the arms a shake if you need it. And just arriving here, strong through both legs. As you inhale, lengthening through the spine, reaching fingertips, and as you exhale, starting to drop that back knee. As you inhale, lifting back up, strong through the legs. And exhale, sinking down, just hovering that knee an inch off the floor. And inhale, lift back up. Last one, sinking down. And inhaling to lift. Taking a moment to pause here, trying to release some tension where you don't need it. Then as you inhale, reaching fingertips high, maybe lengthening into that front leg, maybe keeping it bent. And as you exhale, right hand back, left hand forward, twisting round to the right side. As you inhale, lifting on up, and exhale to twist. And again, lifting up as you inhale, lengthening through the spine, and exhale, twisting round. This time as you inhale, coming back into that lunge, reaching hands high, taking a moment to pause here. And then we're going to come to stand on that front foot, so maybe stepping the back toes in just an inch, just so that your weight's further into that front leg. And then starting to tilt the chest forward. And then as you inhale, lifting that left knee in, giving it a squeeze in, and exhale, softening back into your lunge. Keeping that going, trying to keep the movements as smooth as you can. Landing quietly. Last one, all the way up, and exhale, coming back to land in your lunge. Taking a moment here, pressing through that back heel, bending into that front knee, lifting through the spine, and then as you exhale, hands coming down, stepping back into a downward dog. Giving yourself a moment to pause here, have a little shake out if you need it. Just for a moment, find that strong position, nice and steady and stable. Hugging the lower ribs in, lengthening through the spine, gentle stretching sensation through the backs of the legs. Then when you're ready, knees coming down, setting up for your child's pose, big toes together, knees close or as wide as you like, sending the hips back, and just taking some time to soften. And here you can have a little bit of a wiggle around, you can just be still, you can keep the arms active, reaching forward, you can soften them, tuck them in, wrap them around the legs. Just whatever allows you to soften, just start to melt into the mat. You can close your eyes here, you can keep them open, completely up to you. But in your own time, we'll come to seated. So maybe coming up through a kneeling position, and if that feels comfortable to you, you can stay there. You can move into something that feels better for you. But just like at the beginning, taking a moment of calm, maybe noticing how the body's feeling, how your mind's feeling. Just see if you can just return to a sense of stillness. And again, you can bring the hands to the tummy, the chest. Eyes can be open or closed. Whatever feels right for you today. From wherever you are, just bringing hands down to the lap, the knees, Sitting tall, softening shoulders, lifting chin. And then we'll finish with 3 big breaths. So as you inhale, reaching the hands apart, all the way out, all the way up above you. And then exhaling, hands floating down, past the face and back into the lap. Keeping that going. Big breath in. And exhaling, hands floating down. Last one. Biggest breath yet. Filling the belly up. Maybe taking an extra sip of air in at the top. And then exhale, hands starting to float down. Blinking the eyes open if you had them closed. And there we go. Thanks for joining me today. Hopefully you're feeling a bit more awake than when you started and you're ready to take on the rest of your day. And I'll see you next time.